This week, we actually got a pretty decent episode of Raw. I actually did enjoy it for the most part. Not everything on the show was a banger, but most of it was actually enjoyable, at the very least. And we got the greatest of all time, the never seen 17, the last real champion himself, John Cena becoming a Grand Slam champion, which was such a nice moment. He went on to pin and defeat Dirty Dominic Mysterio for the Intercontinental Championship. So John Cena is now officially retiring as a Grand Slam champion. And that was really unexpected. I did not see this coming whatsoever. I know it was announced that he was going to be here on the show tonight, but I didn't see that coming whatsoever. That was such a nice moment. And besides that, though, the match with him versus Dominic Mysterio was such a fun match. It was so funny. It was so entertaining. That was such a nice match. But besides that, though, the rest of the show was pretty solid, pretty decent. We had a pretty nice Raquel Rodriguez versus La Primavera, Stephanie Vaquer, for the Women's World Championship, which was a really nice match. And I think that's by far one of the best Raquel Rodriguez in-ring performances I've ever seen from her. It was actually a really solid match, and Raquel Rodriguez really stood out. She's gotten so much better, and let me say this first and foremost, that was a really nice match. Besides that, though, the rest of the show was mainly centered on getting the War Games matches confirmed, getting the War Games matches set up. So for right now, as it currently stands, we don't have the matches fully formed yet, but some of the competitors that we have, like firstly for the men's team, it's going to be Cody Rhodes, CM Punk, and Jey Uso versus The Vision. I'm assuming both teams are going to get 2 more competitors, so I don't know who it's going to be. I have no idea as of now, but it's pretty interesting. And for the women's side, it's going to be currently as it stands, not fully complete yet, but we have Nia Jax, the Kabuki Warriors, Lash Legend, and then they're going to be facing off against Charlotte Flair, Alexa Bliss, Io Sky, as well as Rhea Ripley. So the teams aren't fully set up yet, but they're getting formed. So that's pretty cool. And it doesn't look that crazy interesting, but I guess it doesn't look terrible either. I'm just like, I don't know. We've seen a lot better War Games lineups and like matches, so I don't really know what to say about it yet. So I'm just going to let it play out and see what the full teams are. Then I'll give my full thoughts on it. But besides that, though, like I said, that was basically the main aspects of the show. So overall, it was pretty decent. And most of the segments were kind of entertaining as well, so that was a really nice touch. But anyways, though, so I don't hold you up for too long, let's just get right into this review. Let's get right into this breakdown. But before we do that, as always, our quote of the day. Quote of the day. Sometimes peace isn't found in silence. It's found in laughing so hard your worries forget how to find you. Let your joy be your rebellion, kindness your crown, and gratitude the song your heart hums when no one's watching. A cheerful heart is good medicine, but a broken spirit saps a person's strength. Proverbs chapter 17, verse 22. That is your quote of the day. Now let's get right into this video. Let's get right into this breakdown. Let's get right into this review. On this week's episode of Raw, we kicked off with a John Cena in-ring promo. And this in-ring promo went on to lead to an impromptu match where it was John Cena versus Dominic Mysterio for the Intercontinental Championship. But before all that, though, let's talk about the essence of the promo and what was said. So we kicked off the show with the bald fraud goof himself, Triple H, in the ring, and he was basically given a very nice, very well-deserved, meaningful speech about John Cena, and he was given this little message introducing John Cena to the crowd again, saying that he is undeniably the greatest of all time. He is the most valuable asset that this company has, this business has. John Cena will go down in history as the greatest of all time. It's undeniable. It's irrefutable. So he was just basically saying that, which was really nice, and I do agree with it. I don't think there's anybody greater than John Cena at the moment. John Cena is the greatest of all time. The impact that this man has had both inside and outside of the ring is immeasurable. That man is amazing, and he will go down in history as one of the greatest of all time, if not the greatest of all time. But anyhow, after that, we got an entrance from the greatest of all time, the never seen 17, the last real champion, John Cena. So John Cena basically came out and cut a little promo saying that ever since I announced my announcement, there's one question I've been constantly asked, and it's who do you want to face as your last opponent? Through all that, there was only one question I actually wanted to hear. That question is, what is my goal? And my goal is to leave this business better than I found it. Leave this company a better place. Leave this business a better place than how I found it. And that is my goal, and that's the one question I've always wanted to be asked, and that's what I plan to do. And with that being said, I have an announcement to make too. In my last ever match on December 13th at Saturday Night Main Event, it's going to be a night to close one chapter, but also a night to open opportunities. On that night, we will showcase the best that NXT has to offer, the best NXT talent there is currently, and we will pave a path for the future. So he basically announced a pretty cool deal where it's going to be a whole lot of NXT matches, I'm assuming, on the night of his retirement so we could see the new prospects, the new talent, the new opportunities, the future, which is really nice. And I'm really happy that NXT is going to get to showcase their talent because they have some talented young men and women down there, some talented individuals. Like, man, you couldn't even imagine. So I'm really happy about that. So I like the essence of we're going to close one door but open another. We're going to pave the future, which is a really nice message. But John Cena also went on to ask for one last favor. He wants to show up here in Boston one more time, one last time. So I don't know if that means it's going to be added to his appearances or if it's going to be like after December 13th, he's going to have one more show or something, or if this was the last one he was asking for, I'm not too sure, but he did say he wanted to come back here one last time to thank the fans and everything. So anyway, after this, John Cena went on to get interrupted by none other than Dirty Dominic Mysterio himself. And Dirty Dom came out saying, Cena, Triple H, you're talking about the future, but I am the future. And Hunter, I want to know what you're going to do about what happened last week. The disrespect that happened last week. My celebration was cut short. It was interrupted by a deadbeat. That shouldn't happen to me. That shouldn't have happened. I'm the one who interrupt old men's celebrations. And John Cena was like, excuse me, what you talking about? I just got interrupted. What you trying to say? And after this was said, John Cena tried to get a word in, and Dirty Dom tried to put John Cena in his place. He told John Cena, go stand in that corner, mind your own business while grown folk are talking, or I'm going to have to put you down, Cena. And I was like, oh man, those are fighting words. You must not know who you're talking to. And John Cena did go on to remind Dirty Dominic Mysterio, in fact, who he was talking to. And John Cena went on to tell Dirty Dom, you must have forgotten who you're talking to. I am John Cena. And tonight in Boston, I am invincible. So I'd advise you to pick your next words wisely, out of respect for your dad. Out of respect for your father. I'm going to give you a chance to walk out of here on your own merits, of your own free will tonight. So watch what you say next. And Dom did not heed the warning. He did not listen to the warning whatsoever. He went on to actually instigate and inform John Cena that you couldn't touch me even if you wanted to. I haven't even hit my prime yet, and I'm already better than you've ever been in your prime. Cena, I would whoop you in any time, any place, in any era. And then the bald fraud goof himself, Triple H, went on to make the match official. We would be getting John Cena versus Dirty Dominic Mysterio, and the Intercontinental Championship would be on the line. And if Cena wins it, he is going to be a Grand Slam champion. It's the one championship that's eluded him his whole entire career. So then we went on to get the match. And we got our first match of the night. And it was John Cena versus Dirty Dominic Mysterio for the Intercontinental Championship. And let me just say, this was a really entertaining match. This was a fun little entertaining match. We got so many funny moments. We got some fun spots. We just got some unserious stuff, serious stuff. This was such a nice little match. And throughout the match, we got a handful of shenanigans. We got some funny Eddie Guerrero chair spots. We got the referee being knocked down. This was just like a fun start to the show. And the crowd was really behind it. They were really hyped and they were chanting for John Cena. They wanted Dirty Dom to get whooped. And let me just say, this might be one of the few times the crowd was actually against Dirty Dominic Mysterio. And John Cena did go on to whoop Dirty Dominic Mysterio, but he did get tossed down a little bit too. John Cena did eat a few blows. He did eat a few shots. So that was that. It was kind of, I want to say 50-50 for the most part, which it definitely shouldn't have been, but at least I guess Dirty Dominic got a chance to shine, so that was nice. But anyhow, though, at the end of the match, John Cena was able to hit 2 consecutive AAs on Dirty Dominic Mysterio for the win. And John Cena, the greatest of all time, is now officially your new IC champion. And he is officially a Grand Slam champion. And he is officially the greatest of all time. And it's undeniable. And that was their whole match. We got John Cena becoming a Grand Slam champion on a random episode of Raw, which is really nice, which is really cool, and I did enjoy that, like I said. But anyhow, though, after this, we went on to get our second match of the night, and it was Damian Priest versus Rusev, and this was a Last Time Is Now tournament match. And before we even start talking about the match, I need to voice my concerns real quick. Let me just say this off rip. Whatever those shorts were, those wrestling trunks Rusev was wearing, they need to be burned, incinerated, and never worn again. Man, the sights that my eyes had to endure tonight was criminal and inhumane. What were those? Why was Rusev wearing those? Why? I felt like I needed to wash my eyes with bleach after I saw this match. And I'm over here like, oh man, why are you wrestling in this? What is this, Rusev? Never wear these again. Please. For the fans, for the audience, for me, never wear those again. Burn them, incinerate them, pour gasoline on it, set it ablaze. Those shouldn't exist after this match. Those should not exist after the match. That was criminal. That was inhumane. But anyways, all jokes aside, the match itself actually wasn't anything special or anything even too memorable. It was like your standard match. I definitely thought it would be better, but that's my own fault for assuming, but I did think it would be a lot better, but it wasn't. We had Damian Priest playing into his eye injury, so he wasn't at full capability. We had Rusev trying to manhandle Damian Priest. Damian Priest tried to fight back, but it just wasn't that entertaining overall. But anyhow, though, At the end of the match, Rusev ended up gouging Damian Priest's eyes, and he hit a Masha kick on Damian Priest for the win, and Rusev advances in the tournament, and that was that. After this, we went on to get an in-ring promo from CM Punk, and CM Punk basically came out addressing Logan Paul and the whole Vision situation, and CM Punk went on to say that, last week I got sucker punched by a piece of garbage named Logan Paul. I never actually realized how much of a piece of garbage you actually were, Logan Paul. And I'm over here at home, I'm like, really? Okay, well, I'm glad you found out now, because we knew. But anyways, after this, CM Punk went on to say, Logan Paul, get out here right now so I can kick your broccoli-headed millennial behind. And I was like, okay, call him out there. But anyhow, Logan Paul ended up coming out, and he told CM Punk, are you mad, Punk? Are you mad because I'm smarter than you? Don't be mad, because I'm smarter than everybody else in here, too. Last week, I made the smart call. If you didn't hear what Paul Lee had to say, Paul Heyman said, if you don't conform to the Vision, you're going to get cracked every week. And I'm not going to be here getting cracked every week. That's too much cracking even for me. And I was like, okay. And then Logan Paul went on to say, after Paul Heyman said that message, after I went face to face with a Vision, after I got hit with a tsunami, my eyes became clear. My eyes became open. And I saw a whole new Vision. I saw a whole new side. And I saw something different, and I joined the group. So that was basically his explanation. He didn't want to get cracked every week. So that's why Logan Paul's part of the Vision, so he could avoid getting cracked by Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker and Paul Heyman, and he didn't want to get cracked every week because that's too much cracking for Logan Paul, and that's why he joined the group, to not get cracked every week by the Vision. Yeah. So after this, we got Paul Lee and the Braun Browns coming out, basically backing up Logan Paul. And Paul Heyman went on to tell CM Punk, you're the most unlikable human being ever. You have no friends, and you're a miserable, rotten bum. And that was that. That was basically all he had to say. He insulted CM Punk, and the Braun Browns and Logan Paul marched down to the ring to launch an ambush attack on CM Punk. But luckily, CM Punk had some allies backstage. He had some friends come out to his aid. And CM Punk ended up getting reinforcement from main event Jey Uso, as well as the American Nightmare Cody Rhodes, and they came out. And a huge brawl ensued, and it was CM Punk, Cody Rhodes, and Jey Uso fighting off against the Vision and Logan Paul. And that was that. And that was basically to set up your War Games matches. So we're getting War Games! And we had William Regal even announce it, which was pretty cool, but whatever. That was that. Anyhow, after this, we went on to get our third match of the night, and it was La Primera, Stephanie Vaquer versus Raquel Rodriguez for the Women's World Championship. And like I said at the beginning of the video, Raquel Rodriguez looked really good in this match. She looked really strong. She was booked very dominant. She was booked like an absolute beast. She was tossing Stephanie Vaquer around like nothing, like she was nothing, like she was a lightweight. Like she absolutely woman-handled Stephanie Vaquer, and she looked really good. And like I said, this has to be one of the best in-ring performances that I've ever seen from Raquel Rodriguez. She looked like an actual star. She looked dominant. She looked like a threat. And that was really good from her. And she did her thing. She came out and she had something to prove, and she proved it. This was one of the best, by far the best in-ring performances I've ever seen from her. I like the aggression. I like the animosity. I like how focused she was. She came out no nonsense, straight business. And she barely even needed interference from Roxanne Perez. So that was pretty cool too. But anyhow, on the other hand, Stephanie Vaquer also did her thing too. But like I said, Raquel Rodriguez was the one who stood out to me the most. But anyways, at the end of the match, Stephanie Vaquer ended up hitting that fancy off the top rope corkscrew move for the win on Raquel Rodriguez, and she retained her women's championship. And after the match, she got jumped and blindsided by Roxanne Perez and Raquel Rodriguez. Nikki Bella ended up coming to her aid. Nikki Bella was ringside, and she ended up coming into the ring, defending Stephanie Vaquer for a little bit, until the switch in her mind flicked, and she decided, what am I even doing this for? What am I doing here? I want gold for my own. And she decided to absolutely backstab Stephanie Vaquer. She attacked Stephanie Vaquer and smashed Stephanie Vaquer in the face with the women's championship. And she left Stephanie Vaquer absolutely laid out, and she just walked out. And now I know we're all wondering, what does this mean for the future of the women's division? What does this mean for the Bella Army? What does this mean for Nikki Bella? Are things going to be in shambles now? What's going to happen to the entire women's division as a whole? What does this mean? What? You don't care either? Okay, let's move on then. Because I didn't. I'm like, that's cool. What's this leading to? Do you really think Stephanie Vaquer is going to get beat by Nikki Bella? I think not, but whatever. So anyhow, after this, we went on to get our fourth match of the night, and it was another Last Time Is Now tournament match, and it was Shinsuke Nakamura versus Sheamus. And now, was this match the very much anticipated banger that we all thought it would be? Not really. It was decent, but it wasn't as much of a banger as I thought it would be. It was like half of a banger, like 50% banger maybe. This match, I definitely expected a lot more from it. I thought it was going to be a whole lot better with both Sheamus and Shinsuke in the ring. I thought they were going to put on an absolute clinic, but they did a good job nonetheless. This match was decent. It just wasn't what I thought it would be. But we did get some cool spots and cool sequences from both men. They did their thing for the most part, but I just expected a lot more. But anyhow, besides that though, at the end of the match, Sheamus ended up hitting a bro kick out of nowhere on Shinsuke Nakamura, and he pinned Shinsuke Nakamura 1, 2, 3, and Sheamus is advancing in the Last Time Is Now tournament, so that's pretty cool. And after this, we went on to get 2 more matches confirmed for the Last Time Is Now tournament, and the matches are going to be, number 1, NXT's very own, the young OG, Javon Evans versus the Ring General, Gunther. And our second match is going to be Solo Sikoa versus another surprise competitor. So that's that. We don't know who it's going to be. So yeah, whatever. Look forward to next week to find out who the surprise competitor is going to be. I don't know, but yeah, so we're going to get a surprise competitor. And I really hope Obafemi's in this match. I really hope Obafemi's in this tournament because he would be a really nice competitor to win it. Like, to set up the future, this man down in NXT is a force to be reckoned with. So imagine Obafemi defeating John Cena in his last ever match, and Obafemi's like the new Brock Lesnar, the new Beast, the new Goldberg type of thing. But I don't know. I'm kind of hoping that Obafemi is part of it. Fingers crossed. But we do have the Ring General, Gunther being part of it. So I'm like, that kind of puts a sour taste on things because I remember hearing a while ago that the last match might just be John Cena versus Gunther, where Gunther wins, and I'm like, I don't want to see that nonsense, but whatever. Anyhow, after this, we went on to get onto our main event, and it was Charlexa versus the Kabuki Warriors for the Women's Tag Team Championships. And this was a really solid match. It was entertaining for what it was, but Alexa Bliss was kind of a non-factor in this match. She didn't really do much. She was there, but she wasn't at the same time. Like, she barely got tagged and she barely had a chance to shine, and I don't know why. She was entertaining for the moment she was in the ring, but it wasn't really much. I did expect to see a lot more from her, especially being the fact that this was the match that they lost the championships in. So I did expect Alexa Bliss to be more of a factor, but it was whatever. Charlotte really got her chance to shine. She was doing the moves, she was doing high-flying moves, she was doing sequences, and I feel like Alexa Bliss kind of missed out on most of that, and she's really entertaining, like I said. So yeah, that was the only downside for me. But besides all that, though, the match was really solid. Charlotte Flair and the Kabuki Warriors did do the heavy lifting, like I said. But anyways, at the end of the match, due to an interference from Nia Jax and Lash Legend, the Kabuki Warriors were able to pin and dethrone Charlexa. So we have new tag team women's champions and the Kabuki Warriors. So Asuka and Kairi Sane are officially our new women's tag champions, which is pretty cool, and I'm really happy for them. They are really entertaining, so that's nice. And that was that. And after the match, we got a huge brawl segment where we started off with Nia Jax, Lash Legend, and the Kabuki Warriors jumping Charlexa 4-on-2. And then swiftly after that, we got Io Sky coming out to Charlexa's aid. Then we got Rhea Bloody Ripley coming out to the aid of Io Sky and Charlexa. So we had a standoff where it was 4v4. And that was basically to set up our women's War Games match, which was that. And that's how the show ended, with a big brawl. And we had the babyface team standing tall. And that was your whole show. And overall, I would rate this episode of Raw probably a solid 6.5 out of 10, maybe a 6 out of 10, but I'll be generous. I'll rate it a solid 6.5 out of 10. This was a pretty solid episode, like I said. This was pretty enjoyable. I enjoyed it for the most part, and we had some really cool moments, some really cool, shocking moments, and I did enjoy that. And the promos were funny. Most of the matches were pretty solid, were pretty decent, so this was a solid show. It wasn't the worst we've seen. This was definitely one of the better shows we've gotten as of late. So that was that. But anyways, that's your review, and that's your breakdown of this week's episode of Raw. Thank you for showing up, thank you for hearing me out, and thank you for being here. Like, comment, and subscribe if you want to. Like, comment, and subscribe if you'd like to, and like, comment, and subscribe if you choose to. As always, it's been a pleasure. I'm out.